Good afternoon.
All right, thank you. This is the Baltimore City Board of Ethics meeting for Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. We are on Microsoft Teams. All participants in the public session of the board meeting acknowledge and consent to the video and audio recording of the public session and the publication of the recording on the board's website and social media accounts. Now, per the Open Meetings Act, the board discloses that it adjourned its virtual open meeting on August 9th, 2023 to enter into administrative session at 3:16 p.m. We also disclose that we met on August 28, 2023 for an administrative session prior to entering into a public session at approximately 9:25 a.m. All board members were present at both administrative sessions where members discussed administrative matters, including complaints. Likewise, the board may need to close some or all of this meeting today to preserve the confidentiality mandated by the Ethics Code or as otherwise authorized by the State Open Meetings Act. Upon adjournment of the open session, the board may reconvene for an administrative session to discuss non-public administrative functions of the board. All right, good afternoon, Noel, Melody, all. We have a quorum today with 3. So let's talk about everyone's schedules. What does anybody have a hard stop?
4:30.
More than reasonable. So, all right, let's go ahead. Has everybody had a chance to review the written minutes of the public session of August 9th and August 28th, 2023?
I have. Yes.
Are there any comments or edits requested?
No, I move we approve.
A second.
All right. All in favor of the approval of the August 9th and August 28th, 2023 public session minutes signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. They are approved. Let's now move to our ethics officers. Who wants to go first?
Sure. Do you would you like? Oh, Chris, do you want to go
Why
first?
don't you go ahead?
Okay. Nashan and I are planning to go through the metrics. Do we want to do them now or towards the end of the meeting? Is there a preference?
I agree. We should have our guests serve here. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, let's go ahead and skip to new business at this time. And first on the docket is the governmental gift solicitation waiver application for Connect to Success, Squeegee Collaborative Planning from the Mayor's Office of African American Male Engagement. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tracy Eastep with the Mayor's Office of African American Male Engagement.
Thank you, Ms. Eastep. What would you like to tell us about the application?
So the application was submitted to the Board of, we submitted a request to the Board of Estimates, and typically the Baltimore Civic Fund submits the application for the ethics with us along with our office. Due to their staffing changes, that did not happen this year. So when I sent the request to the city solicitor's office about soliciting funds, she made it known that we did not have an approval by the ethics board. So I immediately completed the application and got all of the appropriate signatures so that we can request approval to solicit funds and donations for Connect to Success and Youth at Squeegee.
All right. Now, so Civic Fund will not be holding any funds for this project this year? Is that what the application said?
No, the Civic Fund will be holding the
Okay.
funds. The Civic Fund will be holding the funds, and all of the Civic Fund procedures is submitted in the application.
All right, great. Anything else you want to tell us, Ms. Eastep, or members? Do you have any questions?
I don't have any additional information to share other than what's been submitted in the application. It's pretty standard of what we do each year. It's just that due to their staffing changes, it wasn't submitted in January of this year.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Laura,
I was gonna say, as a quick note, because it was submitted earlier in the year, if the office had been soliciting donations in the meantime and like believing that it was already approved, the board may want to consider if they're required to report those donations or how they should deal with anything that was conducted before board approval. They did have a waiver up until the end of last year, so that's the gap, just the earlier this year.
Mara, so would there need to be some interim reporting? Is that the potential suggestion?
Yeah, so we did that in the past where we had an agency was a little bit late in submitting, which is a bit complicated, and the board approved the waiver subject on that agency providing a report, shortly after the approval on anything that's been done, during that gap period. So we have done that in the past, so the board could do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're suggesting here is that we approve this, but we ask for a full accounting from January 1st to the present, right?
That's what I would imagine. And the waiver application actually designates the period as January 1st to December 31st, so for the whole of 2023. So it's complicated because the office hadn't received ethics board approval, but we have seen this in the past where the board approved the waiver as long as it was the solicitations and donations were disclosed from the entire year.
All right, well, that kind of allays any concerns I may have had.
Yeah,
Agree.
Yeah,
me as well. I saw that in the application, Ms. Estep, that you indicated, or the application indicated that a list of donors will be provided as well, the potential
That's
donors.
correct. So typically, would we submit the reporting for the quarters, the list of donors and the amount that they've donated is made available in that report. And since this is late, I can ask the Baltimore Civic Fund to do the report up until like August 31st, from January 1st up to August 31st. We did submit all of the reporting for 2022. It's just that we haven't received a request for any reporting for 2023 because the request wasn't approved.
right. I'm comfortable and understand as long as the appropriate documentation's been made. Anybody have anything else regarding this application?
No, not for me.
I don't. Thank you so much, Mrs. Step.
Thank you. And I would just request that if you submit it in writing, just give me the date that you want it by, close of business if like next Friday, next Wednesday, how soon you want it. That way I can work with the Baltimore Civic Fund to ensure that we have it turned around timely.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
No
Ms.
problem. Enjoy your day.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, any member discussion? Any motions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, and that's subject to the conditions we just put on the record.
Yes.
Yeah, and we meet once a month as a board, so we'd like to have that information available to the board before the next hearing. So
Yes, perfect.
accept my friendly amendment, Noel?
Yes.
All right, can I get a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. All in favor of approving the gift solicitation waiver application for Connect to Success with the conditions that we placed on the record here, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
I hear that aye. I saw
Aye.
that. I did see
Saw
that.
it, you heard it.
All right, that's approved. Let's go. We do have a guest here from Council Member Cohen's office, so let's go ahead and move into the splash pad application and request. And there you are.
Great. Hi, everybody.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you.
You want to give us an update? So school's back in, so you want to give us
Yep.
an update?
So that We actually have one more Sunday for the splash pad. We end on this Sunday. We'll have one more sort of grand finale. The weather's been holding out on us in terms of heat, so it's been kind of a welcome reprieve. So we'll be doing that once again from 1 to 4 on Sunday, and then we will close it down for the year. We have at that time we'll also be stopping solicitation. We have left it open through now, just in the event that we want to make sure that we've got any unanticipated costs that might come up with water, cost of water and porta potty and things are covered. But what we are now trying to do is look ahead to a donation agreement between the Friends of Patterson Park, who ultimately purchased, who is the fiscal sponsor for this campaign, and who received the donations and purchased the equipment. We would like to be able to donate that equipment over to Rec and Parks for their future use. The idea being that they could use this either for summer camps or for a future pool that is closed for renovations. And I know there was a little bit of a question about sort of how that would work because it's Rec and Parks in particular. Friends of Patterson Park has done donation agreements pretty frequently in the past with BCRP because that's sort of the main agency that they have occasion to work with. So they have donated trash cans, they've donated kind of human capital salary, and they've donated actual kind of physical structures. So just want to talk about what that looks like.
Yeah, go ahead. Or is that it?
Well, so what I guess the reason I'm here is because we went to the law department to talk about BCRP asked us to sort of take the lead on figuring out that donation agreement. And when we did that, the law department said that we should connect with the ethics board to make sure that they are neither a controlled donor, Friends of Patterson Park that is, and then also I think in particular because it was Rec and Parks, and this is where I'm outside of my area of expertise, so I will hand it over to either Chris or Maura to talk about that it would make sense to kind of double check it all with you all.
No, we're glad you did. Any questions from the members? I know Chris and Maura have had a chance to review this.
Yes, we did. Yeah, I mean, there's one thing that I would like to have the board address is, you know, the solicitation waiver was issued to the Office of Councilman Cohen, and the solicitation was the petition was approved and occurred. And the question now is who, in a way, who owns the splash pads? Is it Friends of Patterson Park who has raised the capital to purchase them, or is Councilman Cohen's office, on whose behalf Friends of Patterson Park raised that capital, already in possession of these items? And is that really not a transfer between third party Friends of Patterson Park to Councilman Cohen's office, but a kind of an interagency transfer from Councilman Cohen's office to the Department of Public Works? And I think that may require maybe a little more discussion. You know, it seems like an interesting property law problem.
Yeah. Obviously, your event's going to go forward. Melody?
No, I just wanted to sort of dovetail off of what Chris said. I mean, I think there are a number of issues here that are nuanced and new to the board that we would like to take under advisement. And I don't think this will prohibit you from moving forward next weekend, but a couple of things that we needed to noodle on, frankly, if that's fair.
Not to mention the other two board members. We may be able to
work
this and be able to see where we can arrive at a solution. All right. Thank you. Do you have anything else you'd like to add, Maggie?
No. Just the only thing I was trying to pull it up. Sorry, I don't have it up in advance. I believe yeah, just technically, certainly it was submitted on our behalf. I do think that in the actual solicitation application, we did put that it was in conjunction with and named these other entities, including Friends of Patterson Park. I don't know if that matters or not, but I will just sort of throw that in there for additional nuance.
No, thank you very much. We'll get to it pretty quickly, but we want to do it right in accordance with the law.
Sure.
So we'll take a dive.
Great.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
So do you need me to stay on, or?
No, I think the board's consensus, and somebody tell me if I'm mistaken, is that we'll be in a position to make a decision on this by the next meeting.
Okay. All right, great. Okay,
And
thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
Chris and Mara,
Thank you.
definitely call you if we come up with any other questions.
Okay, great, perfect. Thank you all, as always.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Enjoy your day.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you.
Okay, let me readjust my phone. Do we want to stay in new business now, or do we want to go back to Mara and Chris?
Oh, Chris, you're on mute.
3 years of this and I still unmute.
Always, it's still. Go ahead.
I think it's a kind of a hybrid point. The Ethics Board's emails account are both ethics officers update and new business. It has been suggested by the IT department that board members, if the board decides to do so, can have, and Laura, correct me if I'm off track, can have official city email addresses that would put you outside of using your own personal or business email addresses for board matters. And so I see the the response, but we didn't want to confront you with something that you may not wish to participate in, but this is an option that can be offered to you, within the foreseeable future as our web presence is renovated, so to say.
Melody.
May we also address this in administrative session, please?
Yes.
Or at least, I think the other two commissioners. This is other two members, excuse me.
May we raise this in administrative session?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's get a pure ethics officers update. So.
All right, so I'm going to run through some metrics. Nishan's going to help me out. Nishan, does your microphone work? Are you able to speak? I don't know, sometimes she has issues with her microphone.
She's on mute, it looks like.
Nishan, are you able to talk? If not, I can go through.
She's on the call.
Okay, so she sent me a message, so I'll go through them. So
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
I don't know why I did that. Okay, in June we received.
I apologize. My bad.
Okay. Well, let's go through the metrics. So I'll take care of last year. So we received 82 help desk requests in June. That brings our total for 2023 to 1,314 compared to 1,536 the year before. So slightly lower, but that's ultimately pretty good because our financial disclosure questions, which are very technical in nature, are going down. So people are very much more familiar with the site. Nishan, do you have an update for this year?
Yep, give me 1 second.
All right, I'll keep going, and once you're up, then you can pitch in. But
Okay,
basically,
sorry about that.
No worries. So Nishan found that there were 80 help desk requests in July and 62 in August. Majority of them are ethics inquiries, and then a number from lobbyists because of the lobbying activity reports that were due, bringing the total this year to 142. For the training, 17 people took the training in June, bringing the total to 464. Lower than last year. Last year was 872. That's because we weren't doing these mass trainings on Teams. It's now an online virtual course. And last year we targeted officials who are required to take the training. So this year they weren't required to take it. So that's why that number is down. And then this year we have 44 people took the training in July and 21 in August. So our total for this year is 65 so far. We have 13 complaints last year in fiscal year 23. 2 of them are still open, and we have received so far 4 complaints in fiscal year 24. Those numbers are relatively consistent over the past 3 years. We granted 1 gift solicitation waiver, secondary employment waiver last year compared to 2 the year before, and 1 the year before that in 2021. So those numbers are relatively consistent. For gift solicitation waivers, we received 1 waiver application, which was just approved. 4 waivers expired and 1 waiver was rescinded. So that brings our total for this year to 20 active waivers. Last year we had 37, the highest in board history. The year before that, it was only 15 approvals and then 11 approvals in 21. Last year of those 37, 24 were approved. So we're seeing a huge increase in gift solicitation waivers, which I know is something the board has been discussing. So we should see those again this year, an upward trend. We still have 12 outstanding financial disclosure filers. I can provide an update during the administrative session. And lastly, all lobbying reports were filed by the deadline. So no late fees for lobbyists for reports. Those are the metrics. I don't know if anyone has any questions, and I'll provide more details in the written minutes, which will go through each category.
Thank you. Chris.
All I have is really appropriate for the administrative part.
Very well. Anything else? It doesn't appear we have any old business today on the public session. And therefore, without any objection, we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 2:59 p.m. Thank you.